Thank you, Clark, for that fascinating story about Jason Statham. Ahem. Now, where were we? Ah, yes, that's right. After a night of intrigue and espionage, our heroes found themselves in a fight for their lives against a mysterious, locusty assailant. Using every trick at their disposal, the three of them narrowly managed to avoid annihilation and escaped into the night before seeking refuge at the Dragonheart's Cathedral. While there, they slept, and while they slept, they dreamt. Or perhaps did more than dream. Faunalyn found herself in a carriage amongst family, and came to realize that this was no mere dream, but more so a memory, albeit different than how she remembered it. Glimki found himself in a familiar landscape and found himself drawn into an argument between the nature spirits Mulare and Vemel, the latter accusing Glimki's god of overstepping. In a sign of solidarity, Glimki threw away the grey acorn given to him by the spirit of the ashen tree, which angered the frog and woman. Clay found himself in a dark cave, littered with bones. From somewhere in the darkness, they heard a rumbling and saw a pinprick of light which they began to seek out, only to discover that the light was a cascade of fire, which quickly consumed them. The last thing they heard was a voice like rolling thunder say something in a language they don't know. When at last the party awoke, they discussed the current state of affairs before learning from their associate Jimmy Gnawbones that the Prince Elling Malfirth had apparently left the city. They decided to return home, only to discover upon their arrival that numerous party guests whom Faunalyn had arranged to meet were all waiting for her in the entrance hall of Berthold Manor.
You already said all that.
Sure, but after that travesty you called a story, I thought a palate cleanser would be warranted.
Travesty?
Sorry. I didn't mean that. It was fine. Really. Now on with the story.
Come gather round, travelers, and sit on the stoop. We'll tell you a story about Bod Soup. Three lovable scamps in our traveling troupe. We'll tell you a story about Bod Soup.
It's super time. In a world where soup's aplenty, three heroes gather to find a missing princess. The first one, brought to you by the lovable Prima.
I'm Prima, and I play Clay Campbell. Coming to you next June.
Nice.
With his primetime debut. That's right, this movie's premiering on primetime. It's Jordan Johnsen.
You can catch me in the special features playing Glimki Treefellow in this star-studded cast, coming to you, I think, in June.
On primetime TV. And just in the special features, apparently. And what's that? Eddie Murphy couldn't make it? So we've got Shannon Meikle.
It's so crazy how many times in my career I have been called in to step up when Eddie Murphy steps away.
He's very unreliable.
What is up, Nutty Professor lovers? It is me, Shannon Meikle, and I play Faunalyn Vaydark. And also the Nutty Professor in Nutty Professor 2 coming out this June.
Too nutty, too professor. And I'm the worst DM this side of the Mason-Dixon line, Zach Meikle. Let's roll!
You're our director.
And I'm your director.
The DM, it stands for Director of Movies.
Director Mommy Zach Meikle.
No.
Let's dive in. We join our heroes on the front steps of Berthold Manor. Fallow has just grabbed Faunalyn in a colossal embrace. Colossal's maybe not the word for a woman who we've established would die if somebody sneezed on her at the wrong angle.
Who's sneezing on Fallow? I'll kill them.
Why do you think she's still alive? She has stepped aside, revealing, of course, that you have I'm not going to call them unwanted guests, because you clearly invited them, but maybe not wanted at this time, as Lady Bakra Prailme, Lord Ulrun Rothbard, Lady Electravoon, and the Dragonborn Knights Sir Cletir Keldar are all gathered in the entry hall of Berthold Manor, looking at you with a little bit of everything. A little shock, a little surprise. I don't think seeing you walk in with a bunch of bandaged up arms. You got so many bandaged up arms. At least 2.
All of them, all 6.
Did we not mention that? Faunalyn's a spider person?
How have we not mentioned that?
She's a spider elf, yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, they are gathered, and Fallow says, if you want, I can send them away. They all seemed rather insistent on seeing you, though, before they heard that you had not come home last night.
No, darling, I rather think I should deal with this problem head on. I'm going to rustle around in my bra for any remaining Crocevice. Is there any in there?
There is no crow to be found. Your wounds were attended to. You were stripped down, bandaged up. If there were any crow remaining on your person, a well-meaning nurse would have thrown it away last night.
Father, I'm so sorry. I had Crocevice for you, and then I had to use it to save my own life.
She sort of just stares at you, bewildered. I don't give a shit about the ceviche. I'm just glad you were alive.
No, I know. You're very. It's important. These things are important, and I will get you that ceviche. While I'm dealing with these friends, I do think you should pack something of a go bag, just in case anyone tries to burn the manor down or anything like that. So just, be prepared for a bit of danger. I recommend you pack up your valuables. It's not go time yet, but any minute now. Thanks again, darling. Okay, friends, thank you all so much for coming. Who wants to go first?
There is a collective silence as everyone is sort of still just stunned by your appearance.
Okay. Eeny, meeny, miny, Cletir. A word in the study, please.
Of course, milady.
I'm going to gesture. Clay and Glimki, won't you join me?
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how much I sold it last time. Hey, if you heard any of our intros, you might have guessed we're a little rusty. It's been a good 2 months. I don't know if I really sold it last time. You almost died last night.
Oh, we look like hell.
You look like hell. You are mechanically, sure. You're at full hit points. You're at full spell slots. I'm going to say, maybe, I won't give you any levels of exhaustion because the first one whomps hard and then it gets worse. But I will say that you're kind of limping forward. Your skin is just, it's hot. It hurts. They did their best with you last night at the temple, but you're still feeling pretty beat up, pretty terrible. And you limp your way past everybody and to the study, which is just off the main hall. And it's this room folks have been in before. It's just a bunch of bookshelves, floor to ceiling, all sorts of tomes, and there's some comfortable chairs and an unlit fireplace. And you limp your way over and flop down in one of these chairs, and Cletir kind of stands there awkwardly looking at the 3 of you.
Yes, I sit as properly and as intimidatingly as I can for someone in as much pain as I am in. Sir Keldar, how are you?
I am fine, thank you. Lady Faunalyn, are you all right? I can come back. It just seemed like you wished to converse as soon as possible. What happened to you? The carriage you departed in was found burnt to a husk in the woods at the edge of the Prailme estate, and it's my understanding your carriage driver's remains were found. We had assumed the worst.
Thank you so much for asking. How courteous. I was almost murdered last night along with my 2 good friends here. You see, Prince Elling Malfirth goes by the pseudonym of the Butcher, and he showed up and tried to butch us to death. The interesting thing about it is that by some disgusting form of magicry, he can transform into a swarm of locusts. So I don't know where he is, and I don't know when he's going to strike again. But you really can't dwell on these things, can you? What you can dwell on is the hot goss that you've commissioned. So I would love to know what you heard about Lady Electra Voon, and I'd like to know it expeditiously. And thank you again so much for your noble service. You are, in fact, one of the best knights in my retinue.
You think you know a man, and then you find out he turns into a swarm of locusts.
Yes. Funny how that goes. Never trust what's the male version of broad? I think we need a word for men that's like broad.
A bra.
Never trust a bra. Okay, you were saying.
Yes, Lady Voon. I have done my best to gain her trust. I have endeavored to stay close to her at all times, put myself in her service. She is of a peculiar nature. We ventured out into the countryside after the king's summons in search of the princess. She had learned of a goblin encampment a few days' ride from here, and we delved into their cave and searched it and fended them off, and no sight of the princess was there, no evidence that she had ever been there. She fought with a ferocity most surprising. I have spent time with nobles, and most are rather squeamish at the sight of bloodshed, and she seemed almost to, shall we say, revel in it.
Interesting. I would not have picked her for a fighter, but then people tend to underestimate people in a wig. All right, Glitier, you've done very well. Is there anything you require of me? Oh, the pain.
I guess just some clarification about the nature of our relationship. Are you going to pay me?
Oh, you're in knighthood for the money, are you?
Well, I do need to eat, and eating, last I checked, requires some form of payment, typically.
Okay. If you're hungry, go check on Fallow, and she'll give you a little snack. Thank you, Glitier.
Okay. I hope you recover soon, my lady.
Yes.
And he stiffly walks out the door.
Okay, Clay and Glimki, quick tete-a-tete. Any thoughts about that?
I feel like maybe it's worth paying the man.
Glimki, you are the richest of the three of us. I think I'm working with something like 3 gold pieces.
That sounds nice.
Do you want to pay the man?
No, it's not my relationship. He's I don't know the guy.
Okay. I think it would be worth paying the man too. I gave you 1/3 of my net worth when I hit you with my carriage.
Okay, and that sounds like gaslighting now. Is that my fault?
Okay, let's not turn on each other. Hey, now let's turn on each other.
Again, this guy seemed to be, I guess, interested to some degree in helping. It's probably worth making sure that relationship doesn't sour. Whether that's monetarily or something or a favor in exchange, perhaps. Just to keep that in mind, because who knows? He seems to know a lot about us and our interests, and that probably is valuable to somebody else.
It's a good note. I'll take that note. How much money do we all have?
Again, favors also maybe.
Favors, maybe. Okay.
Maybe we have a little. You could promise him something. I don't know. What interests a knight?
I owe you.
I could send him like a candlestick that I swipe off the mantle. I don't know.
I was more like maybe like, hey, if we get this boon, I'll make you like a royal knight or something. I don't know what.
Nice. Okay, I'll send him a note later. No, you're right. I think that's a good note. I'll send him a note later. Let's call in Electra, shall we?
We shall.
Lady Voon, enter.
The door glides open, and you see Electra Voon. You notice that you made plans to meet at dawn, and despite that, she looks pristine. There is not a hair out of place. She's wearing a fresh dress. It's a familiar crimson red color, slightly different style than the one she wore the night before. And she sort of just glides into the room on silent feet.
Lady Voon, you're looking stylish as ever.
Oh, thank you. I would have perhaps been more stylish if I had known you would not make our rendezvous, but it seems you had a decent reason. And she kind of gestures at all of you.
Yes, forgive me. I double booked myself with meeting you and almost being murdered by the Crown Prince of Onos last night.
Telling Malfoth tried to kill you last night?
Yes, he did quite savagely. In fact, he goes by the name the Butcher, and he did his best to carve us up. Would you believe that a handful of crow ceviche made the difference?
I have seen many a strange thing. I see no reason not to believe it. In my experience, the Prince Malfoth is as foppish as they come. He's received some rudimentary sword training, but it is my understanding he would be better suited for stabbing a man in a joust or a formal duel than an assassination attempt. What makes you say it is him?
I don't really, it's rather a long story. I suppose I find myself surprised that someone I believe to be as resourceful as you would underestimate their foe. Forgive me if I'm wrong, and do tell me if I am. Do you not hate the man as much as I hate him right now?
Really? Undoubtedly, yeah. And his people are scourge upon the earth. I just would like some more information, because the yelling you are describing is not the yelling that I have spent so long studying.
Well, the Elling that I'm describing is known to have killed quite brutally 2 criminals on the Drifting Terraces, where he ought not to have been, except for that he was hunting them and he's been eliminating them with quite extreme prejudice. If you had seen the depravity of his work, I think you would cease to question his capability again. You've been studying him, though, you say. I mean, I'm curious what you know and why this is such a surprise to you.
Because as I said, he is, to my knowledge, displayed no exceptional ability, perhaps proficient with the blade, but perhaps I have underestimated you. If Elling Malfoth was the one to do this to you and your compatriots, I suppose I do not know of any particular combat prowess contained by the 3 of you, but 3-on-1, I would have thought would not be such a problem, no?
Okay. I don't really feel like going through a play-by-play with the war pick and the swarm of locusts and all the trauma that I've incurred. The point is...
The locusts?
Yes, the man, he travels in swarms of locusts and he seems to command them, and they can tear at the flesh of living things as if of a mind to kill.
She sort of stiffens at this description. And I'll say you're kind of sitting in this chair, obviously. You're sitting there. There's a big window with these curtains drawn back. There's daylight flooding in the morning light. She quickly walks over to the window and sort of peers out, and after a minute, shuts the curtains behind her. You stupid girl. You know nothing of what you are engaged with. That is not the Prince Elling Malfoth. He is a foppish noble, as foppish as you. That was Thayun Zahir, a mercenary in the employ of the Lord of Quiet. You are lucky to be alive. You do not even know the depth of your luck. Fucking nobles, every one of you are so fucking brimming with privilege. You have no idea!
Okay, do not speak to me of privilege when it is by the skin of my fingertips and by that of my friends that I am here at all. You say it is Fayum? I insist that you tell me more at once.
I am only familiar with one individual who conjures and controls swarms of locusts. It is, as I said, one Thayun Zahir. He is a mercenary. He is said to be a devotee of the Lord of Quiet. I do not know where he comes from, but by all accounts, he is the most dangerous foe. If you would like, any of you may make a religion check.
Yes, I was going to ask.
Who is the Lord of Quiet?
Yeah.
What's my religion? -1 for a cleric. 12.
I got a 15.
That's a natural 20.
Your dice
Okay,
are
nice.
they're not even weighted because the opposite side comes. It's like
Yeah. It's just 20 and 1.
it's like you're rolling a coin.
Yeah, seriously.
Anyway, the three of you would know that, of course, there is the divine octad, the 8 deities of Zav that embody different elements of reality, care for different facets of existence. There are also countless devils and demons that lurk in the dark places of the universe. There is Svraknar, the insatiable or endless hunger. There is Baheka, the witness. The Lord of Quiet has no name, for to speak in his presence, to name him, is blasphemy in and of itself. He is a creature that despises all noise and seeks to crush out all life, so that silence may finally be achieved throughout the cosmos. And as this name comes to mind, it is a name you were all familiar with from perhaps childhood, your religious upbringing, as this being one of the enemies of good and light, a creature that, if you don't go to bed, might come for you. Electra says, I take it he did not speak? Did not make a noise?
No. No, he did not, and there was a curious quiet.
Maybe. Say, Thainza here? Could be no other.
How do you know of this Kayunza here?
He has a reputation for efficient work.
Well,
No, please, continue.
no, you go.
No, you continue. No, you.
No, you, after you.
No, you.
Well, I was just going to say, I might not have had all of the information vis-a-vis who specifically attempted to murder us, but it was Malfirth who pointed the blade. We heard it from his lips that he was going to be sending the butcher after us. We may have connected the dots slightly incorrectly. I'm going to look at Clay with a dirty look.
Me?
But regardless, we do know that he's responsible for the needless suffering and bloodshed.
Interesting. Tell me, why was this Malfirth want you removed in such a dramatic and, dare I say, efficient fashion?
Electra, Lady Voon, I genuinely want to tell you, I think you and I are united in having a common enemy, and in my experience, that is the most profound of bonds. But the thing is, I guess after yesterday, I sort of have trust issues. So before I get into it, tell me honestly, can I trust you, and are you going to double-cross us?
No, you cannot trust me. But I have no reason to double-cross you. Respectfully, you are nothing to me.
But I cannot trust you.
No, nor can I trust you. We barely know each other.
Well, I think we should be buddies, but that's fine. Maybe I'm just of a
No.
trusting nature.
No.
What are you intending to do? What is next for the great Faunalyn Vaydark?
I'm going to find the princess. I'm going to use the boon for my own purposes. And one of those purposes will be to see Elling Malfirth, at the very least, exiled from these lands. I'd rather like to see him, I don't know, spanked publicly with like a hot spoon. Prima's face. Prima didn't like that one.
Voon looks at Glimki and Clay and says, if you want a different employer, just says a word.
No! Stop it! No!
I'll have you know, Lady Voon, that this is not my employer. These are my colleagues.
My apologies. I thought you were in the employ of the House Berthold on behalf of Lady Vaydark.
No.
Alas. Well, the offer stands. If you wish to find new colleagues, that is an offer, especially if she is hitting you with hot spoons in public. But that being said, I digress. I, too, would much like to find the princess. Where do you intend to search? I have been south of here. I have heard nothing credible that implies she has ventured south. I have cleared out a nearby goblin encampment. She was not there. People have scattered throughout the lands to the south, and as far south as the Atum Mountains, with nary a sign of her. It's just like she has disappeared into thin air.
You really don't have any other leads?
I've been busy at the ball, no?
Insight check. Oh, tonight's going to be a good night. That is a 24.
Oh my.
Anyone else want to back me up on that little insight check or nah?
Oh, I forgot to cast my spell on you again. The one that boosts.
Oh, shit. At your leisure.
Do you need it with a 24?
I am no help at all. I got a 2.
Oh, Glimki's like, wow, she's so French.
There is a little bit of defensiveness that seeps in. And you get the sense that she's being genuine. She does not have a lead at the moment. And she doesn't feel great about it.
Well, sadly, Electra, as you've drawn my attention to, you and I are not friends. And I'm very grateful for your generous donation of information regarding the person who tried to kill me. That was very kind of you, very decent. But seeing as beyond our common enemy, you really have no interest in helping me, I don't really think I feel like exchanging any further words on the topic with you. So, that will be all from me. If you feel like rethinking our relationship, that would be lovely.
Do you have a lead?
Yes, of course.
Might I ask where?
It's just that you said we're not friends.
She looks past you again. Is she always like this? It is oil and water, I swear. Well, be that as it may, if you get tired of walking everywhere, perhaps a ride on my ship would be most helpful, but as you say, we are not friends. And she turns for the door.
No, you know what? I'm feeling something in the air. Don't you feel that, Clay and Glimki? Do you feel a certain spark of camaraderie?
Why would you offer us a ride?
Good question.
Because I will be with you, and I will be brought in the same direction as your lead, and it'll bring me closer to finding the princess.
That just makes me feel like we're more on the trail than you are.
Sure.
I don't know.
But if I figure out the trail, I'll get there faster, no?
There's a lot of boats on the sea.
Garfield has one.
Fair enough.
Sorry, I don't mean to speak out of turn, Faunalyn, but I don't really know this woman.
No, that was great.
And to be honest, it feels like you're getting more out of us than we are of you. I mean, you told us who this attacker was. But I mean, at the end of the day, we know who sicked him on us. So regardless of his name, yeah, I don't know. Seems like scales are shifted more in our favor. That's all I had to say.
Well said. Here. I was wrong. The spark of camaraderie I thought I felt was actually just a draft. This house is so old. Okay, bye, Lady Voon.
I will be seeing you out. And she heads for the door.
That's interesting. So she's got... Goodbye. She's got sort of a, like, I'm not like other nobles thing going on, eh? That's fun.
Yeah. Sidebar before the next one comes in.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Is it just me? Like, if they were really hot on the trail, I mean, hotter than us, wouldn't they have had this expert silent killer sent after them? If anything, I think it's more proof to us being on the right track. And if this person's getting ready to ride our coattails, I feel like maybe we need to start keeping people at arm's length.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. And she did straight up tell us that we couldn't trust her. So probably not the best person to get on a ship with.
I mean, to be honest, I feel like saying that is actually more like that is a good thing to say because it's true. It's like we don't really need to trust each other to like the ends of the earth, but at least there's some mutual interest. At the same time, I don't know. It just feels like we can get a boat. She only gave us the information because she thinks we're stupid, I think.
Yes. We might be, but yeah.
We might be.
She's not allowed to call us that.
All the nobles, like, we don't know who is in the little rat pack, like, who's on Malfirth's side. But she definitely isn't. I don't know where I'm going with this, really.
We know she's not part of that group of enemies. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. So, like, maybe we can somehow get her on our side and use her resources.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do.
I think we can get another boat.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I don't know. But, I think it's good that we didn't give anything up. And now we know she's got a boat.
I think let's think about it this way. That knight that came in here, he seems to be, he's doing some things. He understands the relationship to some degree and seemingly hasn't asked for too much. And maybe it's a relationship like that could be fostered. I'm just thinking, if we make it to the anchor's chain on this boat, and then God forbid they get a lead or something, or they find something out, they for sure are not giving us a ride back. Or if it came between us and them, they're picking them.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
I think, yeah, something to consider. These people don't have our best interest in mind.
All right, so we've elected not to ally ourselves with Electrovoon for now. I agree. Also, Glimki, you very much do work for the house. I don't know what that was. That was interesting. Were you bluffing or
No, in the situation of employment as a gardener, yeah. But in the search and hunt for the princess, I don't think I'm an employee of yours, right? Reginald Chapstick works for the family. I don't work for you.
No, that's a good point. I got a bit lost in the sauce, but you're right. I have to separate the man from the azaleas.
Yeah. Speaking of which, and Glimki walks out.
He walks out? Oh shit, I really wanted Glimki here for that one. Okay, I'm going to call in Ulren.
I pass him in the doorway.
Yeah, he pushes past you and almost knocks you into the door frame, and you venture out. They look better than the last time you saw them. They're still a little wilty, but it seems like whatever emergency measures you applied after finding them in disarray last time seem to hopefully be working. They aren't worse, at the very least.
That's good.
And Ulrin Rothbard walks into the study with Faunalyn and Clay. He's wearing this heavy overcoat, and he's got a top hat that he's taken off, and he's rolling kind of the edge of it between his fingers. He's kind of just this big, sort of dark shape with this big jacket on. He says, "Lady Faunalyn, I am most relieved to see you are all right. I know we left things on a rather sour note. Perhaps it had been the wine getting the better of us. But regardless of our differences, I am glad you were not killed last night. I just wanted to say that."
Thank you, Lord Ulren. Why don't you take a seat, take off your coat?
Very well. And he unbuttons it and slings it over the back of a chair and takes a seat. He's kind of this is a gnomish chair. It's almost like a stool for him. It's very, very small under his large frame, but he takes a seat and sort of just looks at you uncomfortably.
Yes, things did end on rather a sour note last we spoke. My memory is a bit hazy from the inevitable concussion, but I do remember you saying that the topic of which we spoke was not a game to you, that you grew weary of the games. I trust that when you look at me, and you see the state that I'm in, you're aware of the fact that I, too, am not playing around. It's not a game to me either, Lord Rothbard. Now, I have a couple questions for you. You're going to answer them. Will be most courteous of you. And then when you're done answering them, I will give you the promised information that I have regarding the disappearance of Lady Orsa Todara. Is that serious enough for you?
He chews on the inside of his cheek for a second and says, "Yes, that is all I wanted last night. What is it you would like to know?"
What were you doing in the Copper District?
Upon what occasion are you speaking of?
Or do you often go to the Copper District?
I have gone there on occasion with Bickford. It is personal business. That is all I'd like to say on the matter.
It's fine. I don't suppose Lady Crawwin and Lady Prolme are familiar with this business.
Lady Crawwin does not know. Bap has made a few comments that implies some level of knowledge, but That is all. Merely an
Understood. No, I
inquiry.
really have no. No,
Merely
I
an
really
inkling.
have no interest. Yes, I really have no interest in blowing up your personal life. Don't worry, I'm not here for that. I just wanted to know whether the bruise you sustained in the Copper District had anything to do with the. I don't want to say conspiracy because it sort of raises hackles, but a conspiracy that engages numerous of your friends, resulting in the kidnapping of the princess. Doesn't seem like it does. So, my second question for you is what do you know of your friend's involvement in the kidnapping of Callista Galtries?
My lady, you think we have something to do with that?
Perhaps not you.
That is preposterous.
Insight check.
Go for it.
Ay. Clay, are you backing me up here?
Yeah, I'm checking as well.
That's a 16 for me.
Yeah, I got a 16 too.
Hey!
Wow. The mighty 16. He seems genuinely incredulous.
I look at Clay for like confirmation that she's reading it the same way that I am.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to, I guess. I nod to Faunalyn.
We share a little nod. That's interesting that they don't keep you in the loop. I suppose there's a lot you all don't know about each other. Like, for example, here's my bit. Bakra was responsible for Lady Orsa Tadara's disappearance.
And why would she do that?
Well, she didn't approve. I think there's much she doesn't approve of. Isn't that true?
It feels like you're implying something, but I don't think I follow.
No, you were just telling me about your activities in the Copper District and how Bakra's made little comments. I think we both know that she has her principles.
Oh, right. Yes. The fighting. Yes.
Yes, the fighting. That's what I thought you were doing for sure down there. Anyway.
It's just a fight club. It's nothing serious. It's just blowing off a little steam. Anyway.
No, I think it's cool.
Has Clay heard of a fight club in the Copper District? I feel like she would have heard of a fight club.
You know what? Give me a history check. We'll say with advantage.
Ooh, with advantage.
As if Glimki really abandoned us to go check the azaleas.
Someone's good at their job.
He was like, I don't work for you, and then immediately left the room to go do what he's paid to do.
History. Oh, that's bad. Okay. I got a 10.
I'd say with a 10, you are not familiar with the specifics, but I think you recall on occasion either Riggs or someone else in the crew, maybe not participating, but mentioning their plans to catch a fight. And you never went along. You don't know where these fights maybe took place, but I'd say with a 10, you think it was happening at like a blanket shop or tannery, but then you remember, wait, Sten works at the tannery, so it's probably not the tannery, because then you would know. So you like have a vague recollection of
oh my god,
something.
Sten's part of a fight club.
That's
Oh, I kidnapped Sten. Okay, I try to give Faunalyn a meaningful look, saying that like, okay, that checks out, I guess. Fight club.
I'm going to insight roll to see if I know what that look is. That's a 16 again.
You catch a gleam, a glimmer. You catch a glimmer of recognition in Clay's big cow eye.
Okay. All right. Well, I suppose that concludes our business. Best of luck with the fights. Maybe I'll come catch one. I do so enjoy a spectacle. Where's the next one?
I think you'd be happier staying far away, Lady Vaydark. It's a rather unsavory crowd that attends these gatherings.
Lord Rothbard, I shoved Kurceviche up a man's asshole last night and then fed him to an owl bear. Tell me more about the unsavory. Did you know sphincters have taste buds?
Make an intimidation roll.
That's an 11.
They take place at the Weave and Flow. I have to go.
Okay. I go for a high five from Clay.
I give you a high five. You showed him.
Yeah, you showed it. Was that our most successful interrogation ever?
So far, we found out about Fight Club.
Yes. Okay, there's a fight club happening. Where is it? What did he say? I'm blacked out. I've never been successful before.
Is it possible when Glimki goes out to intercept any of these guests on the outside?
Sure. Who are you sniffing for?
I don't know. I'm like kind of curious about the French lady still.
I know where her ship is called, so we can steal it.
Ooh. Clay, back to the criminal life immediately. The Reformation lasted 2 episodes.
That was Prima, not Clay.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, I would say, Glimki, you leave the study, re-enter the main hall. At the time that you enter, Ulrin pushes past you, entering the study. You see Lady Bakra Prailme is there. She's in a sort of gray ensemble. She looks at you, but sort of just in a noble way, looks right through you, does not care about you in the slightest.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say you hurry outside to check on the flowers. And as you do so, you see Electra Voon and Cletir Keldar just sort of exiting the gate at the front of the Berthold estate.
Oh, they're together?
Yeah. They're talking and just walking away.
Can I, I guess catch up to them? Can I, as I'm like approaching, can I hear anything as they're talking?
Yeah. Do you want to give me a wee stealth check as you try and sneak forward?
Yeah, just as I'm approaching.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. 19 plus 1, 20.
Wow. Yeah, they appear to be in conversation and don't immediately notice you.
Okay.
Cletir kind of catches a belt loop on the gate and fiddles with it for a second and then follows Voon out. And I'll say they start walking down the street, and you being a gnome, you are slightly shorter than the wall encompassing Berthold Manor. And so you just sort of walk alongside them, and they don't seem to notice that you're there.
Okay.
Cletir says, "It was good of us to check on Lady Vaydark. It's a good thing she was not more seriously wounded. It seems like the city has become a rather dangerous place." "Yes, it was good of us to check. I did not know the two of you were so friendly. It's very kind of you to check on her, Cletir." "Of course, my lady. Just doing my knightly duty. Where do you think we will search for the princess next?" "Always so curious, Cletir. Always asking your little questions. It's nice to see you take such a strong interest in our work. But we are going to wait around. Perhaps acquire some leads. In fact, I have a very special task for you." And as they are drifting, like you kind of reach the corner of the estate and they start to drift out of earshot, you hear her say, "I need you to keep an eye on the Lady Vaydark and see where she decides to go next."
Okay. I'm not going to interrupt. I think that's, I don't want to clue them into me having heard them.
Fair.
So yeah, I'm going to keep posted up behind the wall and let them like meander off, and then I'll come back to the house.
Okay. Are you trying to rejoin for the last conversation?
If I can, I think so. Yeah.
I'll say Ulrin pushes past you once again, nearly knocking you off your feet. He kind of looks down and scowls at you, and then mutters something about taste buds, and continues on his way. And he leaves the door open, and you hear Faunalyn call for Bakra, and you follow in, and the four of you gather for this last conversation.
Right.
Like I said, Bakra's dressed in this gray ensemble. It's sort of a long flowing skirt, and then this sort of short woolen jacket with these little black buttons going all the way up it. And she enters the room and sort of crosses her arms and raises an eyebrow at you.
"Hi, Bakra. I know it's been a couple nights and a lot has happened, but do you remember what I said that we should talk about on my way out of your very adorable party the other night.
It's been like 6 hours. What are you talking about? Maybe like 10 if we're being generous.
It's been like a full night, Bakra, okay? All right. And time goes double slow when you're fighting for your life, so... Anyway, I'm not in the mood for your trickery.
Trickery? I invited you to my house as a sign of goodwill, and you couldn't help but try and ruin the entire affair.
Okay, well, it was not that much of a party to ruin. You had an owl bear running amok. Garfield barely made the rounds, completely phoned it in.
He had a lovely time.
And honestly, the ceviche was poison.
Oh, don't you start. The ceviche was fine. Only 6 people threw up. That's pretty impressive, actually.
Did anybody pass out and almost die from the ceviche?
No.
From any of the other appetizers?
Cramps, bloating, the runs, the usual...
Well, that's just good ceviche.
Exactly.
All right. Nobody else passed out from any of the food?
No. We only hire the best chefs.
Okay, well, that's very helpful. On to more important subjects.
Yes, indeed. What was your servant doing with a fucking were-rat beneath my manor?
Oh, you're coming in hot.
Yes.
That's fun.
Oh,
Let's not do that, okay?
maybe I should have missed this one
No.
too.
I wish you died last night. It would have made this all a lot easier.
Whoa!
I'm going to tell you right now. The key that was stolen will be returned, or the entire city will know that you are the reason the Eyes of Erdenine have been gaining access to the upper crust. Simply put,
Whoa, wait.
key
What
or your
key?
reputation is done.
What key?
The key that leads beneath the crypt. The key that you undoubtedly found with which you gained access.
Wait, pause. Did we actually find a key?
Jimmy had a golden key.
Yeah, he pulled it out of his butt, remember?
Oh, he did it. Oh, we didn't do it. That's Jimmy.
Reginald, do you have a key?
I don't have a key.
Floraphana, do you have a key?
What key?
What key? Look, Bakra, we don't have your little key. What we do have is a shit ton of intimate details about your family's weird, foul magics. I also know, like, a lot of other things about you. I no longer feel like beating around the bush. Also, don't care about your little crypt beyond my ability to blow your life open with it. And your life is short, okay? If I turn it into hell, that's really all you'll get, and then you'll die in obscurity, okay? You can try to fuck me over. I've got like 800 years left to rebuild my reputation. So, my point is, I had a question for you. And that question was, what is your involvement in the princess's disappearance? Why was your ring on the hand of the man that took her from the city on a humiliation ship?
She flips you the bird and at the same time reveals the signet ring on her finger.
That's the very ring. Very helpful, darling. You're off to a tremendous start. Now, let's do it again, but a bit more verbal this time.
My ring is clearly here, you impetus ape.
Impetus is not the word you were looking for. Do you want to try again? Were you thinking impotent?
She screams.
Oh.
You are the worst. I will play the game, Vaydark. I need assurances that the key will be returned.
I don't think you're understanding. I'm not playing a game. I'm saying I'm going to ruin your life and leave your house in tatters if you don't communicate the information that I'm asking for. So, go ahead.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying, because I will gladly do the same. My life might be miserable. You might not have one. Seems like you've got enemies. And from what I understand, right now you need friends.
Oh, you want to be friends, Bakra?
You passed out from some ceviche?
It really doesn't feel important right now.
Really? Well, sounds like it wasn't ceviche. And then, what was up with the carriage? Sounds like someone doesn't want you around, and frankly, I can't say I blame them. You're the worst. So
wait, hold on. So you'd have us believe that you have nothing to do with the attack of the Locust Man?
what locust man? And why are you talking? Why is your help talking to me?
Whoa. Again, colleagues. Weird misunderstanding happening.
He works for the house, but detective-wise, we're colleagues.
Yeah. What is your relationship to Prince then? Because he seems to be the one that's calling all the violent shots.
I invited him to my fucking party. He's the Crown Prince of Onos. We needed the credibility.
So he just gets to stomp around your manor and try to kill your other guests?
I don't know what you're talking about. Are you saying Prince Malphurth tried to have you killed? Tried to kill you?
Yeah.
What a ridiculous statement.
It wasn't really ridiculous for the 3 other people that came through here. They all seemed to think that it was pretty reasonable. Are you just are you playing this up, or are you this naive? Because there's someone at your party that strung a murderous locust man knight thing to try to kill us.
I wish they'd done a better job.
What? You stink.
You stink.
She really does. Okay, enough name calling. Bakra, I'm telling you now, I don't give a flying hoot, little owlbear joke, about my reputation anymore. I was almost gutted last night on top of a flaming carriage. I passed out almost to death. I don't know, 3 times? You start to lose count. You're coming back at me with this whole, oh, if you ruin my life, I'll ruin yours. I think you care a little bit more about your life than I care about mine in this moment. So, I've asked you very simple questions. I'm not going to do your little key quest. If you're good, maybe I'll tell you where you can find the man who might have your key. That's if I'm feeling generous.
That's not good enough.
Oh my god, she's so difficult. Do you believe this?
I will gladly exchange information. I need the key. You don't understand what I'm dealing with.
Okay. I don't want to speak out of turn, but if...
Why stop now?
if
I was going to say,
look,
help, right?
I'm not trying to make any promises that the group doesn't, but if we're gonna get this key, I gotta know a little bit more about what the hell is going on down there. What's with all the crypts and the bodies? I'll get you your key if it's really that important that no one else goes down there, but what the fudge is all that about?
Give me a persuasion roll.
14.
Your name.
Reginald Chapstick.
That's not a real name.
Reginald Chapstick. You can check the records. I work here.
Reginald Chapstick. There is a entity that lives beneath the manor, which contains abilities and power, the likes of which your diminutive brain could only dream of comprehending. It can provide nigh anything you want, but it requires a price.
So you are sacrificing people.
All the servants, yes.
People. Servants, please, people.
Okay, wow. Yikes.
Yikes. Gauche.
So that's it?
What do you mean, that's it?
You just sacrifice... That's it? You sacrifice people to some entity and you get whatever you want?
I've not been there myself. My father is the only one permitted to enter. But I understand what the broad strokes are, shall we say.
Okay. Well, I'll try to get you your key. Now, give Faunalyn what she asked for. I'll find the key. Faunalyn, that's my promise to keep up.
Okay, if you want to deal with servant killers, go ahead.
Well,
I just feel like I spent the entire evening getting dirt on this woman, and I have a lot of it. Like, way more than she has on me. So I thought the blackmail would be enough. But we can do the little key quest if that's what you want to do.
well, I mean, we also know about this entity thing. So, I mean, sure.
That's cool.
I don't know.
We can talk about sacrificing one of us later.
No, I mean,
Not
like,
it.
we can tell other people about it. Sorry, lady.
Oh, yes. Oh, no, that's a given. But well
Is
done.
that a big secret or what?
Yeah, is the spooky god thing in your basement that your dad prays to a big secret, Bakra?
Or is that like a common thing amongst your friends?
Etanine's a rather accepting place, but I'd rather not test the limits of its religious acceptance, I suppose.
Sure. So then maybe answer the questions.
What do you want to know, Trollop?
Oh my god, I told you like 2 times, Trollop. What is your involvement in the disappearance of the princess?
Nothing.
Bullshit.
What does that benefit me? All it did was ruin my ball. Nobody attends because it's poor sport to have a ball where a princess is missing. All anybody wants to talk about is her disappearance. Her disappearing is the worst thing that's ever happened to me until maybe this conversation.
Fair.
I actually believe her. I don't know. That was kind of convincing.
Honestly, with how forthcoming
Yeah.
you were with some kind of elder god living in your basement. I
life's
just think it's
worse now
funny. And like,
somehow.
please don't take offense to this. You can ask for anything from this elder god, and you chose mediocrity among royals.
One of the most powerful houses in the city. Please.
Yeah, nice. And your party got ruined by 3 guys and a half rat. Yikes.
Your colleagues are very pleasant, Vaydark.
Well, I mean, I would hardly say you're the authority on pleasantness. Regardless. Okay. You have nothing to do with the princess's kidnapping. Why did her kidnapper have your crest? Who else wears that ring?
She is quiet for a long second. And her eyes widen ever so slightly. She quickly corrects herself. Bip lost his signet ring. It's the night of the humiliation ball. He wouldn't shut up about it. He won't shut up about it. Lost it nearly, was that a week ago? Like you say, time moves oddly. But if you're suggesting he had anything to do with her disappearance, that's ridiculous. Bip couldn't scheme his way out of a paper bag.
Probably all the black leaf he does.
The what?
Oh, he's addicted to black leaf. You didn't know?
No, but that clarifies a few things for me. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. I'm kind of tired of, I guess, like fighting with you and threatening to ruin each other's lives. That was very helpful, and you don't appear to be a national security threat. So that'll be cool. I'm not gonna like blow your life wide open, and we'll get you the key.
3 days.
No.
3
No.
days.
4.
Or we go down together.
4.
That's so hilarious that I was like, you know what, Bakra, I have 18 different ways I could ruin your life. I'm not going to. And then she was like, I'm going to respond with a deadline.
Yeah, just imagine the
hilarious.
fucking town criers tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Royal family has eldritch god beneath their walls.
For God's sake.
Also do a ton of black leaf. Also sacrifice their servants to an eldritch god, etc., etc.
Yeah, I don't see this playing out very well for you.
Oh, no. Like, it's actually hilarious.
Fine, 4 days.
Perfect.
Generous. Thank you. So generous. You really are too good, Lady Brownie.
Will that be all, Lady Vaydark?
Who sends the letters, the fraudulent letters in your little group? Like when you sent the letter from Orsa saying that she wasn't going to see Bip anymore. Who writes those? Is it you?
I wouldn't have needed to write a fraudulent letter if she had just done a better job, but she couldn't help putting her own little twist on it. Why do you care about her anyway? I don't believe you knew her. She left before you arrived in the city.
Oh, no, I don't really care about her at all. I just care about, well, it's an interesting story. And also, I also received a fraudulent letter, so kind of curious who's good at copying handwriting around here. But those are all the questions I have. Colleagues, any further questions?
Not that I could think of.
Okay, you're dismissed, Bakra.
She walks away. Doesn't say a word.
I mean, actually, lots of questions still about the crypt, but I feel like not appropriate to ask at this moment.
Honestly, I feel like I got what I wanted out of it. I was just surprised at how forthcoming they were.
Yeah.
I thought they were like the opposite of forthcoming. Because I was like, I could destroy your life. And she was like, I still don't feel like talking. And you really can't take it up a notch from I can destroy your life. Like,
But it's still pretty funny to be like, yeah, there's like a fucking entity underground. We sacrificed
what about it? We sacrifice our servants to it when they deserve it. What about it?
Yeah, like, is that not illegal? Can we not report her for that?
Yeah,
we
I don't
probably
really think
could.
Do we need to find
has a
her
leg to
key
stand on,
back?
to be honest. But you know what? No, but I feel like at the same time, like, sure, we could report them, but like they're also like pretty powerful royal and probably well connected. And they could just be like, no, there's no eldritch god beneath her. What kind of crazy person would say that?
Although, I mean, how many servants have realistically gone missing? right?
From the crypt, it was like bunch, right?
Yeah, it was a bunch. So maybe we snitch and then she's off our backs permanently.
Yeah. I feel like snitching will come back to haunt us more than
That's fair.
just getting the key. But then again, I don't know how easy getting the key is going to be.
Does Jimmy still have it?
Yeah.
Probably
Johnny? Jimmy?
Jimmy, but I don't.
Jimmy.
I feel like he's not going to be one to want to just hand it over. That's for sure.
Well, I want like the longest nap anyone's ever taken, and then I want to speak to the police about Fayoun and Malfirth, and then I guess I want to go back into the sewers for some more rat sex.
Right.
That's what I'm calling talking to them now. Yeah, exactly. Just lean into it, right? What did she say she was going to ruin me with again? She was like, oh, if my reputation's shit, yours will be too. But then the thing she said didn't really frighten me.
That the eyes of Erdenine have access to the nobles because of you. But like, what are the eyes of Erdenine trying to do? Like, what's Jimmy going to do with the key anyways?
I don't know.
No, they've always been like knowledge is power kind of thing, right?
Yeah, they just get dirt on people, and then I don't really know what they do with it. But I guess that's bad for me. I could survive that. I've survived worse. Had to touch a man's butt the other night. That was gross.
Ew.
Yeah, I know. Thank you both for your sympathies.
I mean, if she does reveal it, like if she does try to ruin your reputation, you can also just deny it, and then she would have to explain where her accusation's coming from. And then...
Amazing point. Deny, deny, deny.
Same thing they'll do.
Yeah. But we have more
stalemate.
evidence, like the fact that they're known for their servants kind of disappearing. You know?
That's true.
That's true.
That's very
That's
true.
solid.
I will point out, you acquire that information through blackmail rats in the sewers. You don't know how public that information is.
Probably pretty safe.
Yeah, it's probably pretty. Anyway, we'll get the key. I don't think she and I will ever be friends. Have you noticed that I am not good at making friends, but I'm really good at making enemies?
Yeah. I think
That's
we're
like
all
a different kind of
getting a
skill
knack
set.
for that.
Yes, we're very despicable. Well, I always say if you're not hated by 100 people, you're not doing it right.
Where are we at now?
Yeah,
I'm at like 7,000. Actually,
You're doing
yeah.
pretty good.
Yes.
Okay, well, I got some other information.
Did you?
Yeah, I was listening to some of our guests on their way out, and I think my suspicion is right. I don't think they have a solid grasp on what they're doing next. In fact, it seems that, who was it again? Lady Voon?
Mm-hmm.
Lady Voon instructed our night friend to keep tabs on you, trying to see what our next move would be. So
Yeah.
I think it's best that we keep everyone at arm's length to some degree, unless we have the utmost faith in their trustworthiness, because it seems that we're making waves and they're all trying to ride the momentum here to catch up to the princess.
That's a really good point. Yeah, I'm prepared to like cut and run with basically everybody in the city except Fallow.
You know what we could do? Is now that we know, and they don't know that we know, you could give the knight false information.
Oh, you're so clever, Glimki. You really should be a noble. You would be so good at it. Let's use that boon to make you stinking rich.
Learning from the best, okay? Let's, yeah.
Hey.
Yes. Oh my god, this could be so fun. We could send them on a wild goose chase, and then we could start making our way.
So smart, unopposed.
So fun.
We still need a boat. Okay, actually,
we can get a boat. I feel like that's not going to be that hard.
Garfield had a boat, and the three of us are very charming. I'm sure we can schmooze a celebrity.
We can get a boat.
The problem is, I don't know who kidnapped the princess. Pip's ring was missing. Presumably, whoever they handed the princess off to is the one who stole it, which means that person was someone who had access to Bickford on the night of the humiliation ball. We do know some of the servants there were actually criminals, so perhaps another criminal was there, swiped the ring. The other aspect that somehow feels connected is that I believe it was Lord Pilton who summoned me to the Drifting Terraces, but he did so with a letter that fraudulently bore the humiliation seal. So there's someone out there who may have stolen two rings and may be connected to Lord Hamlet Pilton.
You think it's the same person?
I don't know. I mean, They said Xerxes told me that they keep the ring, his father's signet ring, in the study and that it would have been there all night and that he can't know for sure who was in there. So perhaps it's completely irrelevant. But it's just interesting to me that 2 nobles' rings were misused or misplaced on the same night.
That's interesting.
It's a MO.
And we're not any closer to knowing which ship we ought to follow and where into the anchor's chain. Like, I've got to get the hell out of Dodge, out of this city, but we don't know where to go.
Yeah, shoot.
Yeah, I'm frankly stumped.
Because there's a lot of different islands to... I mean, but we could write off a bunch of them, right? Like, we know... Oh, well, maybe, I don't know, actually. Some of them are, I think, you just can't go to at all. Or wouldn't be the place to go. But...
Right.
Damn. Yeah. How would we know? Maybe it's just about going to like the most populous port city in the anchor chain and then starting to ask some questions.
That's true. Okay, that's a really good point.
I think we should, get to the anchor's chain first, and maybe we'll find more leads once we're there.
Yeah.
That's an excellent point because not every island will have trade with any humiliation ships whatsoever. So if we can just get there to the most popular place and then ascertain where there receives shipments and in that window, because, we can engineer it. We know what night Callista Galtrees was kidnapped.
Right.
We can know roughly how long it takes to get to the anchor's chain, which means that we can present the harbors there with a window and say which K-name ship came into port within these 3 days.
Yeah, that maybe could help. That's a better start.
I think that's perhaps the best we can do. I do think we should talk to the cops about Thayun Zahir.
How did Malfirth get, how is he related to Malfirth, though? Also, where did they go? Malfirth and his servant.
I can only assume they're waiting to try to kill us again.
Probably.
Right.
Yeah. But I feel like if we can catch up to them...
What if we leave tonight?
If we could find a ship, maybe.
Oh, but this stupid key thing that we have to do now that you promised. Glimki, you could go get the key, and Clay and I could go get a ship, or Clay, some combination thereof. Or we could all go together.
I have some connections down at the docks now.
Ooh.
At least at the ship. Who's that guy that I brought fish to?
The harbor...
The harbor master?
Southwater.
Yeah,
Southwater Jack?
No, that's
the
Southwater
fish
Jack,
seller.
the guy who gives the fish.
Yeah.
Oh, silly me. I'm a fool.
Yeah, hey. I didn't say his name the first time you met him. I realized I never gave him a name the second time you met him. But for the record, his name is Latest Throp.
Latest Throp?
Latest Throp.
Latest Throp.
The harbor master of Erdenine. Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, well, maybe I go talk to Latest. If you guys want to go have more rat sex.
Okay, yeah. Clay and I can go have some rat sex, and you can go talk to your friend.
Yeah.
But who's going to talk to the cops? We've got to report.
I don't know. Should we? I really don't know if that's a good idea.
I can't talk to the cops again.
I really don't think that's a good idea.
Also, don't you have a meeting with the detective guy?
Oh my god, so many meetings. Why am I always doing this? Yeah, I suppose I do.
He's on to me. You have to figure out what he knows.
I don't really know how to handle that, actually. I guess I'll just tell him that you're really into rat sex.
Yeah.
It's sordid enough that it'll distract him, I'll be like, Clay is a criminal. I love criminal, I don't know.
I mean, the guards hired him to look into me, and you want to report the Locust Man to the guards. What if you tell Whisperhands about the Locust Man and then send them that way instead? Then someone's investigating that.
Okay. I'll tell Whisperhands about Locust Man. Okay, that's a good plan. I like that plan. And then the guards are kind of involved. And
they get him off my back.
I just think, I'm kind of a big deal and I was almost murdered. And the police will probably want to speak to me at some point, And if they ask me who tried to kill me, I'll say Locust Man vis-a-vis yelling Malfirth.
What was the evil thing's name again?
Lord of Quiet.
Oh, Thayun Zahir serves the Lord of Quiet.
The Lord of Quiet.
That's really cool.
Yes. Who I'm quite scared of, actually. Really plagued my nightmares when I was a child.
Doesn't sound
Scary
very
guy.
nice.
Did they have the Lord of Nightmares in Dwells?
I don't know. Did they? Would we have heard of something like that?
You know, Dwells, sometimes the scariest something someone can imagine is a berry bush with no berries on it, or a jubilee with not enough warm bread for everyone. But yeah, sometimes if the kids are acting up, you're like, oh, Lord of Quiet's gonna take you. You know.
Okay.
Not the scariest thing. The berry thing definitely more scary, but yeah.
It was, so to us it was more like a folktale kind of thing. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, so didn't take it as seriously as you might hear. And I mean, having now experienced firsthand, and if I ever make it back home, they certainly will take it a lot more seriously.
Is it related at all to the entity under Prima Manor? Like, is that some sort of horror demon thing?
Yeah, what the hell? Yeah, sorry, we kind of glazed over that because I think it was kind of funny that she just gave up that information immediately.
Yeah.
What the hell? They have a god thing entity under their house that they kill people to get things that they want? Pardon me?
Yeah.
I don't know if Clay's made any religion or history checks about this whole necromancy crypt thing. Can I do that?
Yeah, go for it.
That's not great. So I got a 12.
I think with a 12, you don't really have enough information. I think from your religious studies, you are aware of all manner of nefarious entities lurking in the realms beyond the material plane. There's the abyss where the demon lords reside, the entities of chaos, chaotic evil. There's the archdevils of Sistilist. They are of a more lawful evil persuasion, but that's like a pretty big umbrella. It could be a god, it could be a lesser deity, it could be any number of fiends known for making an exchange of souls or other elements of servitude in exchange for motes of power.
That didn't really help. I don't know any.
Yeah, I feel like maybe we deal with one thing at a time, and I feel like dealing with some sort of super powerful god demon thing is not really our priority right now.
Yeah, I just feel like the people we're up against have some sort of way of getting help from super powerful god entities. So
yeah, that's true. I mean, we've gotten
already
some
tried
help
to
from
kill us.
some god entities too.
That's true.
Did we? Yeah, we have.
You.
Please, my name is
Like a
Faunalyn.
dragon.
Just kidding. I've still got jokes.
So,
Glimki, wait a minute. Glimki, aren't you like religious in a way?
Yeah.
You're always like saying prayers to trees and whatnot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we got stuff on our side too.
Yeah.
But Krog's never intervened so directly, though.
Have you ever asked McCrog for middling wealth and status?
Maybe I should pray for protection. So no more of my friends die or people around me die.
Yeah, do that. Do that.
Yeah, my bad. I should have prayed harder.
That's your bad, but that's okay. You'll do better next time. Can I just say, guys, thanks for, fighting so hard to keep each other alive.
Well,
yeah, that was some shit we went through yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, it really was. I'm very grateful that both of you fought so hard.
I think we're getting better at this. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're kind of badasses.
Man, like, all these guys, like, don't really know what they're doing.
No, we're going to get that boon. Like, we don't know what we're doing, but we know more than them.
That's what I'm saying. Like, these guys, I don't know. It seems like a whole lot of show, and we're kind of just figuring it out.
Hell yeah. I think we figured out more than them.
We're on to something.
I think we're on to something for sure. All right, so.
Something to discuss later on. I know we have more pressing things. How would you guys feel about fighting in a pit fight to make us some money? Come on, look at these muscles. And I'm going to grab Clay's arm and show off their muscles.
Notoriously
We almost got
weak muscles.
Yeah.
It's like jiggly.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm not that desperate yet. See how much it costs to get a ship over to the Anchor's Chain, and then we can decide whether we need to join a fight club or not.
Okay, fair play. I just think you guys are cool and would be really good at fighting in a fight club.
Well, I think we'd be good too, but yeah, you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
Maybe there will be throw pillows around and you can make shields out of them.
Or we should actually have all our equipment on us next time we get into it.
Yeah, we should kit up.
That would be good.
Okay, so plan is, number 1, we have no idea who's kidnapped the princess. Number 2, we are going to talk to Marlin, try to find a ship, and retrieve a key. Number 3, we're going to get out of the city as fast as we can, yes? Okay, good plan.
Break.
You leave the study and cross the entry hall to the entry hall of Berthold Manor. You put your hand on the knob to open the door, and it is smacked. And Fallow says, "Absolutely the fuck not!
What
to bed! All of you, to bed! You need to rest and regain your strength."
Fallow.
What the hell?
No, we listen to Fallow. No, don't curse in front of Fallow.
Damn.
You were going out!
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you think that whoever tried to kill you last night isn't going to try and do it again right now?
Well, no, they've got to recoup too, probably.
What are you wearing? Is this like a
suit?
Christian school t-shirt? What is this? Religious?
Yeah, I borrowed this robe.
It's like a robe.
Macrog is my friend? You need to rest, you need to recover, and you need to put on actual clothes.
Okay, damn.
It's a good point. Okay.
Oh, that's true. We didn't even arm ourselves again.
Do I have to keep pretending I work here now?
Yes!
Oh,
of course!
Okay. I just wasn't sure who that's for. Is that for you or is it for somebody else?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps for the lord and lady who keep you employed and safe and, well...
Where are they?
Lady Amala was rather bereft at the thought of losing Lady Faunalyn and drank herself into a bit of a midday stupor.
Oh.
And Catherine, I believe, was making a police report.
Oh. Shouldn't be doing that.
Of what?
No, I think it's cool and good.
Okay.
Oh, he reported you missing. Okay. Someone should tell him that you're safe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good point. Okay, well, Fallow, would you let them know when they get through the door? We'll be taking a nap.
Will you go to bed?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Will you stay in bed?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll bring you some warm soup.
Sometime.
Very good. All right, off to bed. And Fallow escorts Faunalyn up to her bedroom and helps tuck you in and checks your bandages.
Aww.
And she brings you a nice bowl of warm soup later.
Man, she really cares about you.
Yeah, we're like legit friends.
It'd be a shame if something happened to her.
I'll kill you.
Oh no!
I'll kill you for real.
Glimki, you were brought down to your room with the 2 beds, the shared room. Similarly, soup is brought to you. A fresh change of clothes is provided to both of you. And I'm going to say the rest of the day is a bit of a blur. Anytime you even think about getting out of bed, Fallow seems to have a sixth sense and is there to force you back down. She's very frail, but she's determined. And eventually, Amala comes to see you, Faunalyn, same with Kazrin. They're both extremely apologetic. Amala is insistent that anytime you leave the house from now on, Crombeck, Lung Crusher, accompanies you.
Ugh.
Crombeck.
Fair play.
How do they take the death of their carriage driver?
You know, it seems like a bit of a logistical problem. I think there's more relief that Faunalyn's alive than there is grief over the passing of Calcin Faddle.
Poor guy.
Well, you reap what you sow.
No justice for servants in Erdenine.
Why not?
I'm like nice. I'm like normal. I'm thankful for their care and I explain what happened and whatnot.
How much do you explain?
I think I don't say like Prince Malfirth sicked them on me, but I think I do say that like we don't totally understand, but from what we understand, I might have gotten the wrong piece of gossip and touched on something a little too close, and it made someone at the party mad, and they sent this locusty guy after me, and he tried very hard to kill us.
Okay. Very good. I'm going to say about 5 days pass.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, 5 days.
Before Fallow Kent gives permission for you to return to your duties, to start dressing yourself. In the case of Faunalyn, she doesn't care about who dresses the two of you. But I will say that there is a few notable incidents that happen over the course of these 5 days.
Okay.
On the second day, we'll say the first day is the day that you did these discussions with the various party guests. The next day, there is a knock at your door, Faunalyn.
Oh.
And it's Fallow. And she says, "If you're not up for it, dear, it's quite all right. But I believe the town guard sent a detective to take your statement."
Oh, good. Okay, a professional. Yes, let them in, please. Thank you, Fallow.
The door is kicked open.
Oh.
Well.
I love this guy.
What do we have here? Looks like somebody chewed up yesterday's garbage, and I'm sorry, you don't need that right now. You look like hell. And
Yes.
surely enough, Marlon Whisperhand, local detective, not part of the town guard in any official capacity, is in your doorway, and Fallow scowls at him. She says, "What are you doing? Knock that off. No, we're not doing that right now." And he says, "Sorry, ma'am, and might I say, you're exactly my type." And Fallow scowls at him and then walks out the door, closing it gently behind her.
That's so hilarious that you think someone like Fallow would go for someone like you.
That's why I don't like dames. Always so mean.
She's a hot 80 and you're like a crusty 60.
That's really good. I'm actually 65.
Hey, you give that energy and you sort of have the weathered look of, yeah.
So, looks like your old servant tried to cut and run, huh? I assume that's who did this to you? The tiefling?
No.
Probably popped you over the head and tried to leave you for dead because you were getting too close to the morbid, sordid, tortle truth. That's right. There's probably a turtle involved.
I know you never trust a dame, but the thing is, Twain to Dame. Twain to Dame who did this.
Twain to Dame indeed.
Twain to Dame. No, Twain to Dame. Twasn't. Twilln't. Twon't.
Twould. Sometimes.
No. Twouldn't. Twould. One big man with a war pick and a bunch of bugs.
Tell me a bunch of bugs gave you these second-degree burns all over your damn body?
Yeah, so the story is, I don't know exactly, well, I kind of have an idea of why, but it's none of your business. But anyway, I kicked the wrong locust nests.
Things that aren't my business are my business.
Well, I'm telling you the part that I care to share with you, which is that I kicked the wrong locust nests, and then I I was sicked upon by a Thayun Zahir, is a servant of the Lord of Quiet. He wears a locusty mask. Anyway, he tried to kill us really bad. And then through ingenuity and scrappy wit, we fought our way out.
Oh, can I interject? If Clay has been confined to her bed, she would have done sketches of the Locust Man and gave them to Faunalyn.
Ooh, nice.
All right.
I hold one up.
Oh, you can,
Look.
so you can give them away.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Self-portrait?
Did you capture? Oh my god.
the-
Get out.
It's the ugly locust helm.
Must be like looking in a mirror for you, though.
All right, well, I kind of just already made that joke, so, you know.
Yeah, well, I made it back and mine was meaner, so.
All right, so look, I know you're not long for this world. Looks like you'll be dead in probably a couple days based off what I'm seeing here. Trust me, my partner looked the exact same way the day he croaked. So if
She was shot? It was a woman who was shot. You said your partner was a woman and she was shot.
No, he was shot by a dame who popped out of a cake.
Well, But he also looked like he was going to die in 2 days' time.
Yeah, it was a real shocker when he died seconds later.
2 days earlier.
So listen, as your dying wish, I would love for you to tell me the dirt you've gathered on a certain tiefling acquaintance of ours.
Yes. I can tell you that floraphonic is really not the criming type. Like, actually, when we were all fighting on top of the carriage, I was very resourceful. Glimki was very resourceful. Clay kind of just cowered inside the carriage and was like, oh my god, and just was praying the whole time. And like, she was like, forgive the locusts, they know not what they do. Crime is in the heart of the sinner, but Lord McCrog forgives us all. Anyway, nicest person I've ever met. Not a criminal bone in their body, but I can tell you the name of the man who tried to kill us, if that's of interest to you.
Start with a deception roll.
I'm feeling that the dice are hot tonight. I'm feeling that I'm going to roll my second nat 20 of the night.
Okay.
Okay, well, it's not a nat 20, but it is a dirty 23.
He flips out a notebook and holds out a hand to you expectantly.
I high five it gently.
No, Quill. I forgot mine.
I don't know, go rifle through the desk.
He rifles through alley cat, howls, trash can, bone xylophone. You know the deal. Why do I make this extra work for myself? And comes back with an ink pot and a quill, and he starts jotting down in this notebook, big stinky coward. Got it. And then and as he just chokes on a bunch of ink and starts spraying it all over the room. All right. You're certain? You're not just telling me a convenient lie so that I don't investigate your friend further in an attempt to find justice for the missing princess?
Would I do that?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
It doesn't sound like me. Oh, I can say, though, actually, I asked Clay. I was like, Clay, if you were going to kidnap a princess, what would you do about it? And Clay was like, oh, Clay is what I call them because they're a potter, but their real name's floraphonic. Anyway, floraphonic was like, I would never kidnap a princess. That is a sin, and I would go to tiefling hell. And that would be, and then she gave herself 12 lashes in front of me just for thinking about doing such a crime. She was like, somebody spank me with a hot spoon, lest the thought even cross my mind. And then she started praying again. She's very good.
Into spoon stuff. Got it. All right. So, here's the deal. You showed me that picture of that guy. I kind of just said it looked like you. I probably could have said something more substantial. I don't know who that is. That's a weird fucking looking guy. I'm going to be so real with you. Don't know who the hell's that is.
I know, he's icky.
Yeah, really scary guy. If I ran into him, I'd probably get killed. So...
I shoved ceviche in his ass crack. Can you believe I did that? I looked at this picture and I almost cried just from seeing it. And I put ceviche in his ass. Like, what was I doing? Was I on Blackleaf? Crazy.
Now hold up.
Oh.
I don't condone drug use.
No, neither does Clay.
Turns to the camera and says, kids, don't be a fool. Stay off Blackleaf. And go to school, you damn idiots. And he turns back to you. Sorry.
Faunalyn looks at the camera and says, my friend did Blackleaf, and they died in the street. And then she looks back.
He looks at you and says, who the hells are you talking to? You're a weird-ass lady. More like a ladybug, am I right? And he points at the picture. Anyway, listen. Fair's fair. I got the lady off your back, gave her the money back, fed her a line. You don't have to worry about that. Maybe stop blackmailing people. It's a bad, ugly thing. But it is what it is.
I didn't ask for notes.
All right, don't get sassy with me. I promised you something. If I recall a little quid pro quo. Quo pro quo.
Yes, it's prid quo pope. At least that's what Clay says.
Crosses himself. All right, so believe it or not my only lead. I'm a pretty good detective. And he stops with the feather quill like inches from his mouth again. All right. Here's what's up. I did a little investigation, right? Ran the block, yelled at some people, fought a kid, typical detective stuff, right?
And community service. Children are disgusting. You were saying?
You familiar with Lady Marinelli? Lady Milani Marinelli?
No, I'm not.
Some noble you are.
Damn.
I kid. We've got that sort of report now.
Give me that. I take the quill and I take a drag from it and then hand it back.
Yeah, you just got like ink pouring out of your mouth now. I don't think I know how quills work, apparently.
They're just really juicy.
That's a juicy quill. She is, or shall I say was, the princess's handmaiden.
Oh, this is a good tip. Okay, carry on.
Yeah, she was her handmaid. She hasn't really been seen in public since the whole disappearance went down. But me being the best at what I do, and what I do is pretty damn cool because I'm a detective, is I found her. I don't know how that sentence started, but that's how it ended. I found her.
I didn't follow the beginning or the middle, but the end is really diving.
And I would argue that's the most important part.
What? I would agree. That's all anyone listens to anyway.
So listen, after the whole princess went missing, she got interrogated pretty damn intensely by the damn cops. They talked to her, they're like, hey, where'd the princess go? And she claimed she didn't know nothing about nothing, right? She claimed she went there in the morning, opened the door, wasn't there. Oops, it did daisies, right? Well, here's the
Never
thing.
trust a dame, though. Yeah.
Never trust a dame. You're starting
Never
to
trust
get
a
it. He holds out his cigar to you.
Yeah! Wave it around the air because Faunalyn never smokes herself.
He starts to like fidget with his lip really aggressively, watching you wave the cigar around, but keeps going. All right, so I thought I'd ask her myself, maybe do a little investigation, if you will. And can I have that?
I hand back the quill.
Thank you. Ah! He's like poked himself in the lip. He starts bleeding a bit. Perfect. So, I talked to Lady Milani Marinelli. Turns out she'd been staying with her parents, laying low, keeping out of sight, keeping out of trouble, right? She's probably out of a job. It's not in the job description to make sure the princess that they're the handmaid for doesn't go missing in the middle of the night, but it kind of helps. Word of advice, have you ever become a handmaid? Don't let that happen. Turns out that's like the one thing you can do wrong in that job. So anyway.
If I'm ever a handmaid, I'll find her some cool handmaids. Never mind. You were saying?
Well, I did some questioning, talked to her. She did some shit.
Oh.
Nothing like made the princess disappear kind of shit, but like, she did some shit.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Specifically.
Good, okay, thank you.
Did you think I was just gonna leave it there?
I thought you might. You're very unpredictable. Erratic, even.
Yeah, that's warranted. That's actually completely warranted. She was helping the princess do a little, shall we say, classic swapsies. The night she disappeared.
Oh.
I gotta quit this thing. It's terrible for my lungs. And he puts the quill down on the foot of the bed. She, the princess that is, was supposed to have a sort of, shall we say, rendezvous with one prince. He opens his notebook. Bertram Vestergaard.
Oh.
And it was a bit of a, covert lovers thing. Didn't want anybody to know. Didn't want her father to know. So, Lady Marinelli, she stepped in for her, allegedly. Went to bed, lay down in the bed, princess slipped out. Yada, 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 you know the deal. Anyway, she doesn't know. If she returned, she fell asleep. And when she woke up, princess wasn't back, or just wasn't there. But she said the room was dirty. Like some sort of dirt on the ground, which she says wasn't there when she went to bed. Anyway, she's a dame, so you probably can't trust a word she says, but yeah, that's what I got.
Dirty. Marlon, that was good detectiving.
Yeah, I'm damn good at what I damn do. Thank you.
Yeah. Well done. Okay. Have you spoken to Bertram Vestager?
No, here's the thing. In case, for those of you listening home, you're wondering, what's he breathing on now, that crazy guy? He threw the quill down, he gave the cigar away. It's a bubble pipe. Ha 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 ha. Well, bubbles are flying everywhere. Isn't this guy zany? Ho 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 ho. Haven't found him. I've been looking in between investigating your friend for crimes they evidently did not commit. I've been running around the city. Neither head nor tail of the guy, which makes me think he probably ate her. But I talked to Lady Marinelli and she swore up and down he would never eat the princess. So, kind of in a bit of an impossible situation right now.
You know, it's interesting. I was racking my mind trying to recall where I've heard of Bertram Vestager, and then it occurred to me that my knight acquaintance told me on the king's announcement day, whence he announced the boon, that the princess had been seen in the company of the bastard prince of the north, Prince Vestager. And I'm wondering if he's a bastard because of his lineage, or maybe he's a bastard because he eats princesses.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes. Never trust a dame, never trust a bra.
Bra.
I'm workshopping it.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, well, we'll figure something out. The point is, trust nobody, right? Anybody could shoot your partner.
Wait, what? What are you bringing that up for? I haven't thought about that in like days.
We spoke about it like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, but I wasn't thinking about it. I was kind of autopiloting.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, you've been very helpful. I don't know, I'd be down for another exchange of information one day, so seek me out.
All right, or you seek me out.
Yeah, we'll seek each other out. Cheers.
Seems I got a short memory and might forget where you live. On account of all the heavy drinking and concussions.
Seems I'll find you.
He screams and walks out the door.
Okay, that's fun. I have Fallow deliver a note to Clay and Glimki detailing what I learned.
Yeah, you've got a transcript. It's just like 3 pages long, and most of it's just like
exactly.
aggressively smoking.
Yeah. There were bubbles. He screamed. It sounded like, ah.
On the third day, there is, over sort of the course of these 5 days, there's an influx of flowers and edible arrangements.
I'm so beloved.
A nice peacock made of fruit. Lots of presents from the nobility, from Kazrin and Amala.
I'm so special.
Fallow knits you a little handkerchief with your initials.
Love her.
And you get a bottle of wine from one Hamlet Pilton that says, "Get well soon," on an attached note.
I write Clay a note that says, "Can any of your weird friends find out if wine is poison?"
Do I know someone who can I find out if wine is poison?
You are a cleric. Detect poison and disease is a first level divination spell available to you.
I have to prepare it.
Yeah, but I'd say over the course of the days, the next day, you could prepare it, and Faunalyn could send it down, and you could.
Hell yeah.
You could do some detecting of poison or disease.
Okay, I would like to do that.
So you prepare that the next day. You ask Macrog for the wisdom to discern if this wine is safe to consume, and you pray and you open your senses, and it starts to swirl. So you pour out a small cup of it, and it starts to sort of swirl in the cup, and the wine vibrates and the surface ripples, and then it calms down, and it does not appear to be poisonous.
Okay.
Well, I tell that to Faunalyn. Doesn't seem poisoned.
Interesting. I don't drink
wouldn't
it, though. I put it aside.
No.
Yeah, I'm not going to drink it.
Would not recommend that. Maybe hide it so Amala doesn't drink it either.
That's an amazing point. I hide it amongst my personal effects.
Perfect. Yeah, you hide it, and I will say 2 days later, on the 5th day, you awaken, and you are given permission to venture forward. You take a few gentle steps, and you're feeling pretty good. That first day, after your mass interviews, you were feeling pretty drained, pretty exhausted. And I will say you feel recovered even.
Nice. Good.
So, if I recall correctly, rats got to talk to a rat about a key and got to talk to Mr. Latest Throp, you say? Love that guy.
Latest.
About a boat.
Latest.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'll buy a fish first so you get to talk to Southwater Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on the list.
All right. We'll start with Glimki. Going,
Okay.
wow, the streets. They feel so foreign and unfamiliar, yet also familiar and not foreign. It's weird.
Hold on.
Thank you,
A
right?
poet.
I know. Some have said I'm a wordsmith, and I've said I'm not a word, and don't call me Smith. You venture out. Fallow has approved your departure, and
I'm glad.
you venture out. I will say, as you depart, you notice the azaleas. They're looking good.
Oh, all right. That's a nice change of tune.
You haven't done anything to them in the last 4 days.
Well, hold on.
Wooly almost assuredly hasn't.
Oh, what?
And yet they seem to be recovering.
I was overwatering them.
Interesting.
Maybe they were being overwatered. Give me a little nature check.
Wasn't someone pissing on them?
What?
Was it?
Yeah.
I got a 6.
They're looking good.
Damn.
It must have been Wooly.
Damn.
And you venture off. You walk through the streets of the Sapphire District. The sun is burning bright above you. It's summer in full swing. It's hot. It's comfortable. You're on the ocean. It's a beautiful day.
Oh.
And you venture down through the Gold District, down into the crevice, the basin of Eridanine, before following the slope of the ground back up into the hustle and the bustle of the Pearl District. Seems like things are, I don't want to say back to normal, because you've only got a very small point of reference, but it seems like the solemnity and the shared anxiety of the missing princess is maybe fading as the days go by with no real updates. People got lives to live, and they go back to them.
Yeah, I guess I'll go search for a familiar face in the fish salesman guy.
Well, what do we have here? A young gentleman looking for a perky little perch? Or perhaps a yummy little guppy? What can I do for you today, young master?
Good to see you, Saltwater Jack.
Oh, it's Southwater, but I don't remember you, so why should you remember me?
Well, okay, you're more of a character, I think.
What are you talking about? You're more of a character than I think.
Oh, okay. Well,
And I'm a character who sells fish. Delicious, delicious fish. Now, if I remember you, you probably bought some tuna fish or perhaps some red snapper.
that sounds right.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. I guess I do remember you after all.
You got a good memory.
Thank you. Never forget a face and never forget a fish I've ever sold.
Question: Do you also like fish these? Like, are you actually out on the sea, or do you just sell them?
Little column A, little column B. I got my boys. They go out on the boat. They do some fishing. Take a big net, throw it in the water, pull up a big fish. You get a big perch. You get a big sea turtle. Sometimes you gotta throw them back.
Wow.
Authorities do not like when you fish out the sea turtle because they're kind of like turtles. I think if there was more sentient fish people walking around, maybe we wouldn't be so going about, all this fish, you know what I mean? But you gotta draw the line somewhere. I still eat chicken. Don't tell my wife, but I eat chicken sometimes. And guess what? There's bird people. We all see the bird people. Doesn't mean I feel bad about eating the chicken. So anyway.
Yeah, crazy. That's actually an interesting perspective. So you do have a boat.
You ever think about your own mortality?
Yeah, nearly every second of the day.
It's tough.
When it comes to getting out on the water,
Oh yeah! Got a little rowboat, take that bad boy out there into the out in deeps. Wave after wave.
you're fishing off a rowboat?
Yes, sir!
Okay.
You seem unimpressed by my line of work.
Well, I'm just like looking down at the array of fish that you have on this table, and I'm just like
Yes, sir!
very surprised that you're able to get all of this,
Smart thing about a rowboat is the fish can tow you right back to shore.
especially a tuna, I guess.
Yes,
that could
sir, there's a big
outweigh
old
you.
tuna. Yeah, outweigh you, that's for dang sure.
I'm guessing you've never taken a boat all the way out to the Anchor's Chain, have you?
I was there in my younger days, learned a lot about fish, different types of fish out there on the Anchor's Chain. Some weird shit too, part of my English. But,
How did you get out there? You didn't take your rowboat.
No. I worked my way there aboard a larger ship, did some time, and then at the end of my contract, I said, let me off in Port Dakar and set me loose and
Okay.
made my way through the chain from there.
Okay, so that's actually what I was thinking, was that I wasn't sure if you had some sort of large fishing vessel that perhaps needed some extra hands if you...
That ain't my business.
I see.
I'm more of a bespoke fisherman.
Bespoke fisherman, I
That's
see.
right, I learned that book from the dictionary, and by book I mean word, and by word I mean wordsmith.
Okay, well, alright. It seems I'm barking up the wrong tree here.
Oh, you're only barking up the wrong tree if the tree that you're trying to bark up has something other than delicious fish inside it, sir.
Yeah, well, I was gonna buy some fish, but I feel like I have another inkling. I was more so looking for work than to buy.
Well, you want
fish.
to come out fishing with me tomorrow? I'll be up at 3 a.m. Rise, the sun is fully exploded in the sky. We can get some nice fish. You and I'll give you one shiny silver piece.
That's actually super tempting. I'm not even gonna lie, like that actually sounds like a sick time.
Gonna be a pretty good
But I
time.
need a little bit bigger of a boat because I'm trying to get to Anchor's Chain.
We're gonna need a
unfortunately.
bigger boat. I got you.
We are going to need a bigger boat. You know what, Saltwater Jack? I will
Buy a fish.
take a rain check on the fishing trip. Nope, I'm going to take a rain check. I will be back.
Looks like things aren't coming up for Southwater Jack today. Sometimes you sell a delicious fish.
Not
Sometimes
for
you hire
me.
somebody, and sometimes you get spurned and shurned, if you know what I mean.
Nope, not a clue. But I
Nah, I
promise
don't
you, I'll
either.
send some business your way.
Thank you.
Everyone that I've gifted the fish to have absolutely loved it. So
That's because we only use it to good stuff.
yeah, and I can tell.
Fish.
Fish, yeah, no chicken. And no fish
Maybe
byproducts.
sometimes, as long as the wife doesn't know.
Fair enough. Well, good
All
to
right,
see you,
get on
man.
with you there. You're gonna buy any fish. I got other customers to scare away.
Okay, sorry. Yep. See ya.
So long, sir.
And you continue along. Where do you go?
Off to the docks now.
Oh, do you mean latest throp?
Latest throp.
The harbor master?
Yep. Latest.
Well, hello, young master. And once again, people in the harbor district call each other young master a little bit too much. What can I do for you? He's this jovial, large man. He looks a little more relaxed than the last time you saw him. There's still a pretty strong hustle and or bustle going on in his workspace, but he seems a little less super stressed than the last time you saw him. How's that book treating you?
Honestly, I haven't gotten to put it into much use yet because I haven't made my way over to the Anchor's Chain, unfortunately.
See, that's the problem with the Anchor's Chain. You read about it, you want to go there, but it's expensive.
It is. And I actually am here looking for some advice.
Okay. What can I do you for?
Trying to find my way there. Like you mentioned, price is not the friendliest to someone like me on a budget. Trying to find ways to get over there. I was thinking maybe I could offer my services upon a ship, perhaps, for passage over. I don't know. Does that sound like something people would be interested in? Do you know anybody that might be looking for some extra ship hands?
Now, here's the thing. It's about a 2-day trip, 3 on a, if you get caught up in a bad summer storm, Most folks, if they're looking for help, they need something more than just a 2-3 day commitment. You're looking at a longer contract. They bring you on. You might get some shore leave if they happen to be overnighting or otherwise spending time in port.
Fair.
It's, unless you're looking for a longer commitment, I think you're unlikely to find a work ticket, if you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes sense. What's it usually cost to get a trip over there?
Well, depends on where you're going. If you're just trying to get to Shade Tree Shores, Port Dakar, it's about 175 nautical miles. Probably run you around 15, maybe 20 gold pieces a head.
Okie dokie. That is a lot. Right. Okay, you said people looking for work, maybe longer commitment. I mean, what would be the charge if, let's say, I made it to Port Dakar and then never got back on?
Desertion. I mean, if we're looking at just the law, there's probably some sort of desertion charge that could be leveled against you. Odds are you wouldn't find a passage off the island afterwards. You might spend the rest of your days there. I don't know if
That's
single
fair.
ship captain who would take you on. Won't you forgive me if I'm misremembering? It's been a week. But aren't you with Humiliation House? Don't they have any sort of perks for a dedicated employee?
Yeah. Just trying to find alternative situations. Things aren't really going the way I had hoped at that.
Got it. Sorry, I was not my place to ask. I'm sorry. Economy's tough right now. People losing their jobs.
It is, yes.
Brother lost his job. Been unemployed for 3 months. It's very sad.
Yeah. Well,
I could probably give him one because I'm in a position of relative comfort and authority and power in the city, but I think he's got to find his own way,
Well, actually, with that being said, I don't know. We've had an interesting relationship over the past week.
You gave me some fish. I gave you a book and some information. That's pretty interesting as far as my relationships are concerned. What can I do you for?
I wonder, would you be inclined to help me get to the anchor chain, or maybe have some insight on a safe way over there? Maybe alternative to paying a ton of money, or maybe the lead on some sort of job, or hell, maybe you need something and could help ferry me across somehow. You obviously are connected to a lot of shipwrights.
Can't say that I have got any personal business in the anchor's chain. Best I could do is point you in the direction of a couple ships that I think are set to take off in the next day or two. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking to get to Kobaris, then the Vigilant is leaving pretty soon. It's a pretty nice ship. They'll definitely charge you a pretty penny for that trip, though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's, I think Brimstone is taking off on a larger trip, making a port of call in Port Dakar, but
Okay.
I think they're continuing on to Izayadea afterwards, so
Okay.
I don't know if you're planning on going off the end of the world, but that's
Now,
probably what they'd be looking for, someone willing to do that.
well, maybe this next question. Do you know of any maybe unsavory folk that port here on a regular basis that might be willing to take somebody onto their crew?
He raises his eyebrows very aggressively. His forehead becomes a washboard of crinkles and wrinkles. I don't know what sort of business you think I tend to in this official position, but unsavory is not really my flavor of choice.
No, by all means, I'm not saying that you do anything with them. Just that maybe you know of some crews or ships that you guys kind of turn away because you know they're up to no good.
Well, if we turned them away, they wouldn't be here, sir.
Okay, that's fair. I'm coming in here with a very different tune than last time. Well, you know what? I think these leads, the Vigilant and Brimstone, I can certainly start there.
All right.
I appreciate your insight, and please don't let it tarnish your perspective on me. I've just come into a different set of circumstances, and I'm just trying to figure out what options I have.
Indeed. If you need a job, I probably should offer it to my brother, but
Well,
I could have you sorting papers if you want.
I mean, that's okay. Maybe if I don't figure out this whole trip abroad, that might be the only option.
All right. Well, I wish you the best of luck, sir.
Thank you. Okay, bye.
And you wander back out onto the docks. Is there anything you're looking for as you take off?
I think knowing those ships, it might be better to plan with the group of how we're going to get ourselves on board, perhaps.
Okay.
If it's money or if it's services or something.
Sure. Sounds good. So we'll say you begin the long journey back to the mansion, back to Berthold Manor, and we will cut to Clay and Faunalyn going on a little trip.
Girls trip.
I had a thought.
Oh.
It's been 5 days, and Backer gave us 4 days to find the key. Has she tried to ruin Faunalyn's reputation?
Oh, yeah.
yet?
Oh.
Yeah.
I will say,
Whoops.
we'll say the first day counted as a day. So, like, it is the 4th day from when you met.
I see. Okay.
I
so
also
we're-
noticed that. We'll say, like, today is kind of the day where she's expecting to hear from
So
you.
that 4th day was really key that we bought from.
Yeah, seriously.
That 4th day really was important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Where to?
The sewers, I guess.
The sewers. Faunalyn's gonna take care to not look like Faunalyn today.
Wow. This is character growth.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Natural hair?
are you taking your wig off?
Yeah. Natural hair.
Oh,
But I wear like a frilly bow in my hair.
Nice. We'll say as part of the parade of gifts brought to you, Amala presents you with a fresh wig.
She's so good to me.
And Clay, you disguising yourself at all?
yeah. I also want to put on a disguise. And if Faunalyn's going without her wig, I don't know how Clay can disguise herself. But if she puts on a wig, will that cover her tiefling horns?
If you put on a wig?
Yeah, like a tall one to cover her her horns. How do tieflings wear powdered wigs?
You know, maybe with a hole cut out or a couple of holes for the wigs. Just looking at some fan art, reminding myself what Clay's. Yeah, those things are. You know, like a Russian like fur hat. I think if you got like a wide enough wig, you could probably cover them up. You're still gonna be a red splotched cow person, but you know,
red.
at least they won't know it's you. At least they won't know about your horns.
I could give Clay like face powder.
Ooh, makeup.
I could do your makeup.
And I just wear like a turtleneck with gloves that cover every other inch of skin.
Yeah. Do you want some? I can lend you some gloves. Do you want some blocky contour?
Yeah, I think this is good.
Let's do it.
You're a rogue. Do you have a disguise kit?
I think I do. Let me just take a little look-see. Oh boy, do I. Yeah, I do. Can I disguise Clay?
What are you going for? What look are you going for?
I'm gonna make Clay look not like a notable and notably wealthy person, but I'm gonna make Clay look like just like a normal, like upper class citizen with a hint of nobility so that I can justify doing like the French Rococo style makeup that's kind of classic of the slightly upper crust and higher. So I'm gonna do the pencil thin eyebrows that make a look of perpetual shock and the blue eyeshadow on the pale white face. And I will give Clay lots of creative direction. You know, I'll be like, ooh, what lip shape? This one looks a bit sad and this one looks a bit tragic and this one looks a bit gleeful. You know, kind of make this look up together.
Okay. Give me a roll, d20, and you can add your proficiency from your disguise kit.
That's a 19, so that's a 21. I'm feeling good tonight.
Clay, you look in the mirror and it's
Whole other person.
you realize, wait a minute, that's my drawing of locusts. And then you look past that at the mirror and you're like, oh, I still don't recognize myself. And the two of you set off into the streets. There are many sewer grates in Eridanine. Is there a specific one you are gunning for?
Our classic. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, we
Clay?
know the way. What way did we take last time?
It's near the church.
Oh, okay. Let's go there then.
Okay.
The same way that we went before.
I agree.
You depart. You notice there's a slightly higher guard presence, perhaps, in the city than you, or at least in the upper district, up in the Sapphire district, than there has been in the past. What are your passive perceptions?
Passive 13.
Mine is 14.
The two of you walk out the front door, swing open the gate. Crombeck falls in step behind you, and the three of you start walking down the street of the Sapphire District. You glance over. You see that there's a couple of rich children playing with a fancy stick and a fancy hoop, and an individual sitting on a bench reading a newspaper. You pay him no mind, except you notice that there are 2 eye holes cut out of the newspaper. And it's being held by these blue scaly hands.
Is Cloutier blue?
He is.
Mm.
And if you're wondering what Cleteer looks like, check out bardsoup.com and you can see exactly what Cleteer looks like.
Woo!
But we don't look like ourselves.
Oh yeah, we don't look like ourselves. Let's just keep an eye out to see if he seems to notice us.
Mm-hmm. But Crombeck is following us.
Oh yeah, Crombeck's following us. We're gonna have to send Crombeck off.
Yeah. I mean, Glimki said we should feed Cleteer false information, right?
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. I just don't think I really want to tip him onto what we really look like or what we look like when we're disguised.
I know.
But he's already on the lookout for us. It seems like he might already recognize us, right?
But has he noticed, like, we've noticed him, but has he noticed us come out of the house?
Yeah. Is there any sign that Cleteer recognizes us?
There's a newspaper in front of his face. Hard to get a read on how much he does or does not know.
I see. All right. Should we just deal with this head on?
Or we could, I don't know, go on a stroll and see if he's following us.
Yeah. Okay. Let's put it off. Good plan.
Okay.
I assume Clay and Faunalyn came to this decision in a very hushed,
Sure.
Yeah.
urgent conversation.
Of course.
We both
Yeah.
spot him and then, like, make this decision.
Yeah, thank you for narrating your thought process, because in reality, it's just like a lot of shrugs and nods and eyebrows being raised. And
I do think Faunalyn and Clay can communicate pretty well like that.
yeah, you keep walking. And Clay, at one point, you glance over your shoulder and you see the individual sitting on the bench has stayed there and is kind of staring at the manor.
Oops, he hasn't realized it's us, hopefully.
We did a good job with the disguises.
Yeah. I also wanted to say that if we're leaving the house, when you asked us our passive perception, like, I want to make active perception checks against, like, the killer still trying to
Sure.
chase.
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Give me a perception roll.
Oh, God. It's a 7, not a 1. And then +3, so 10.
You keep an eye out for shadowy figures, clouds of locusts, individual locusts even. Streets seem relatively quiet, but not in the scary Thayun Zahir sort of way.
Okay.
And you continue along. Crombeck doesn't ask a lot of questions. He's on patrol. He's on duty. He's got a hand on his weapon at all times. And the two of you go down into the streets of the Gold District towards a familiar sewer grate. What is your plan for him?
I tossed Clay a look that's like, how are we going to get rid of this guy?
I don't know if she looks back at you with no idea in her eyes.
Oh, God. Crombeck,
Yes, ma'am.
have you heard the rumors about me and rat sex?
I'd rather not say, ma'am.
You have heard them. Okay, well, they're true. I'm going to go into that sewer, and then I'm going to come out in about an hour and a half. I trust, and I know for a fact that I have your discretion. You can wait here and guard the entrance. And if you hear any wailing, that's part of it.
Give me a persuasion roll. The
I hate
DM said
myself.
sadly.
Yeah, I'm not happy about it either. But that is, in fact, a 21. No, 19. I'm bad at math. 19.
With all due respect, ma'am, there have been multiple attempts on your life. I have been assigned to escort you for the entirety of the time you are away from the mansion. Perhaps this is not the best time for rat sex.
Whatever you're picturing, it's much more romantic.
I'll be with her the whole time as her
Yeah!
handmaiden.
Yes, Clay will be with me the whole time.
The entire time.
The entire time.
Just watching.
Doing handmaiden things. Ooh.
Okay, suit yourselves. I'll be here, I guess.
Good job, Clay. Okay, high five. Let's go. We should come up with a handshake.
And he posts up outside of the sewer grate.
Oh, that was well done.
You descend down. Can I get a survival check from whoever is leading?
Can I also specify that I'm going to breathe only through my nose and I will cover my mouth so as to never get poopy in mouth hole?
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Clay is leading.
And I'm watching out for cubes of slime.
I think I don't even ask. I think the second we get into the sewer, I just like crawl onto Clay's back.
I'm once again piggybacking Survival. Ooh. 22.
The route's starting to become familiar. The sewer has been your stomping ground more times than you maybe would have expected had somebody told you this a few weeks ago. Especially you, Faunalyn. But you hop up on Clay's back, and with a certain amount of confidence, Clay starts moving through the tunnels of the sewers of Erdenine. And you know exactly where you're going. Which is why it's so confusing. When you get to this slightly upward slanted tunnel that opens up into this larger chamber, once teeming with rats and the occasional kenku, it's almost entirely empty. There was piles of bones and refuse, but those seem to be mostly gone. It's quiet, save for the sound of dripping water.
It looks like they've moved their meeting spot since we were last here.
Well, rats.
Yeah, rats. The lack of them.
Yeah, the lack thereof.
Do we have any other way of contacting Johnny, Jimmy?
Ask and you shall receive.
Literally just have to speak his name.
Oh my god.
You hear from off in the darkness, "Hey, I'm walking here." And waddling out from the shadows is a little kinku.
Oh, clever. Hand something. His name is Hand. What's his name?
Hand something?
His name is Mr. Hands.
No, it's Chimes, I think.
You have met two kenku, one named Chimes and one named Mr. Az.
Mr. Az, not Mr. Hands. Silly
No,
me.
That's copywritten.
Do we recognize this Kenku?
Yeah, which one? Which Kenku is this? It's a different one?
It's a bird person. Hard to say. You can ask.
Mr. Hands!
Chimes!
They open their mouth and you hear sound of chimes.
Chimes! Wait, which Kenku is which, though? The one that recorded Clay?
That was Mr. Az.
And then what was this one?
I believe Chimes played the sound of the boy being run over, if you recall. Yeah.
Oh.
And they went back and finished him off. Yeah, that haunts me.
Kenku kind of cocks her head and looks up at you and says, "Now what are you two fine ladies doing around these parts?"
We're looking for Brutus and Jimmy.
Oh, my two favorite boys, what are you doing back here?
I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm afraid they're gone.
Where?
What has this little bird witnessed?
Yeah.
The horror! The horror!
Oh, poor fellow. Yeah, could you lead us to where they went? Where they've gone?
Look at this jackass Bray. And the Kenku kind of raises a hand in apology.
So no.
Not possible then.
You don't know either?
Oh, I know many a wonderful thing, but I can't tell you that. Because you see, Mr. Parker, they'll have me arrested for treason.
Can you get a message to them?
To meet us here?
Oi, sure can do, boss. Ain't no problem. Ain't nothing that a couple thousand ball bearings can't fix.
Can you do it for free? They'll be very interested in what we have to say.
Give me a persuasion roll.
That's my first bad roll of the night. That's going to take me to a 10.
Can I help?
How do you help?
Big cow eyes.
Sure.
Yes!
Go for it.
What do I roll?
Persuasion.
Okay. I got a 5.
We're killing it.
Ain't nothing that a couple thousand ball bearings can't fix.
I don't really. Well, the thing is, we're flat broke. I don't have any ball bearings either. I didn't even really know what they are.
Are they at all similar to baubles?
Oh, good question.
It's kind of like a whole idea of a thing, you know what I mean?
Oh, good. He's met Marlin.
Yeah, and I don't know what you mean.
No, we don't.
You hear the sound of money like piling up, just like clinking coin bag.
Okay, well, I can give you 2,000 copper pieces.
Mr. President, we've got ourselves a deal. I'll build that facility Don't you worry about the kids.
Okay, awesome. You're going to lead us to them then?
Ho, ho, ho! Not a chance!
All right. Clay, what do we say? That their way of life is in danger because of the key that they took, and the woman they took the key from is willing to burn their entire enterprise down to the ground, and then she knows roughly where they stay? Is that like what we should say?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, did you get that, Chimes?
Ho, ho, ho! Not a chance!
Well, okay, take two. Was there anything you think we should add, Clay?
I don't know. We kind of just need that key back.
All right, Gov. I'm on it. Don't you worry. And then you hear your own voice parroted back at you.
We kind of just need that key back.
Ooh. Should we offer them hot goss in exchange, or should we just see what happens?
Yeah, I feel like that's not tempting enough.
Yeah. Okay, Chimes, can you please tell them that we have cool goss about a pit fight, and we know who tried to kill us?
If you try hard enough, anything's possible.
Okay, thank you. Well done. Toddle off then. Wait. Where will we meet you with their reply?
Don't you go anywhere.
Oh, stay right here then. Okay.
And Chimes disappears into the darkness. How long do you wait for?
Well, we said 2 hours for rat sex.
Mm-hmm. And there's no other rats or anything around here?
It's quiet.
How do we pass the time?
I don't know. Scheming?
Yes. Do we gossip? I want to ask about all your friends at the church place.
Just Walter, I guess.
Yeah, what's Walter's deal?
Yeah, I guess Clay will talk about how she became a cleric and just kind of tell Faunalyn a bit more about her past, I guess. About her childhood and everything.
What do I learn?
Well, basically, like, she was very ill, and a cleric of Macrog came and helped her heal her when she was younger, and then that inspired her to want to become a healer and also a cleric, basically. And that healer is now the Bright Skill, so that was him.
Oh, Bright Scale wore it.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm really, really glad you didn't die as a child.
Thank you, me too. I don't really remember anything from before being sick, so it's kind of like the first thing I really remember.
Did the sickness, like, steal your memory?
No idea.
What about your parents, Clay?
Yeah, so my father, I grew up with him. We lived on Killick-on-Sea. It's like south of Erdeneen, I think. Yeah, a small place, and he was a potter, and yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm adopted, but yeah, he taught me a lot about pottery, too.
Does he still live there?
Yeah, I send him letters sometimes. One day I'm gonna, get my own art shop up and hopefully invite him to Erdeneen to see it.
What a beautiful and good dream. Let's make it happen. Let's find the princess and let's make it happen.
Oh yeah, I don't think he expected me to get into so much shit.
Yeah, the crime. Well, does he know about the crime thing?
What crime thing?
That's what I told Marlon. I told Marlon Whisperhands that you're like a nun, basically. And he bought it, so that's good.
Kind of. Cleric.
It's true. In a way. Just like a cool
way.
nun who kidnaps people sometimes.
That was once, and we're gonna fix
Just the
it.
once.
So
Yeah, you learned from it. You'd never do it again.
never. Yeah, none of this ever again.
Yeah, it seems like you don't... like, the crime thing seems a bit out of character for you. Did you enjoy it while you did it?
I feel like, looking back, I didn't really know what was going on. I was just taking jobs where I could. Erdeneen's so different from Killick-on-Sea. There's so much more going on. There's so many more people that, the people who were willing to help me out, I wanted to help them back. Yeah, that's basically what I was doing. And then, suddenly one job turned into something more. And I did not expect that, kidnapping the princess was happening. So it's kind of been a shock the past couple days.
Yeah, I'm sure it has. You really exude a sort of goodness that just makes it all so surprising that you're caught up in this at all. I can't get a read on Glimki and his sort of morality. Like he's he doesn't want to kill people and he's very pious, but then sometimes he's like scary. Like he's like me, but better at it.
He seems like a good person, and I'm glad, that we've become friends with him.
Do you think I'm a good person?
Yeah, I think you're a good person.
You might be a terrible judge of character.
I think that's canonically true.
But you're a very good friend.
You too.
Wow.
Thank you for, getting me a job at Berthold Manor. And,
Thanks for going along with it and being so nice to me. It is hard to make friends in this city and maybe just in general. So I feel very lucky. If there's anyone in the world I'd want to hunt down a princess with, it's Fallow. But Fallow's too old, so it's really you.
Yeah. I think, as awful this has all been, it's been nice to meet new people through it, especially meeting you and Glimki. And I hope even after this whole princess thing and, we find out who killed my other friends and we solve all that hopefully everything can go back to normal and we'll still be friends.
But we will be. Once you're friends with Vaydark, you're really... I mean, I've been friends with Fallow since she was like 18. So, it's really just a lifelong thing. You're locked in, buddy.
You're so old.
I know. It's so childish.
Pattering of footsteps approaching in the darkness.
Who is it?
Oh, for Pete's sake, what do those two chuckle fucks want?
Oh! Is it the two of Clay and Faunalyn? That's great. Say hi. I kind of told them that we were done, but hey, make sure they say hi.
Jimmy, shut up.
And Chimes walks back into view.
They say anything else?
Okay, Chimes. Make sure they understand this. We're moving because of them, and Jimmy, but also them. So, stop trying to find us. Thank you. Second thing is, they can have the key, but it's gonna cost them.
Now, boss, before you give them the key, might I recommend we give that thing a good wipe down first? It's been in some crannies, maybe some nooks, so to speak.
You could have told me that before you gave it to me. But, yeah, sure.
It's nowhere Brutus hasn't been.
Hey-o!
Dang.
Nice!
If they want the key, 1,000 gold pieces.
Oh my god.
And it's theirs.
Huh?
Okay. Let's go ask Bakra for 1,000 gold pieces.
Yeah, true.
Or let's go do a bunch of pit fighting.
Has it come to that?
I'll throw a fight. Bet against me.
Oh no, we can't risk you getting injured again, Miss Faunalyn.
Oh. Then Glimki can fight.
Yeah, Glimki would win though.
Yeah, that may be true.
Okay, what do we do for real?
I don't know, but I have no way of getting 1,000 gold pieces unless I do something deeply immoral. I think we should just ask Bakra.
Yeah.
She'll be mad at us though, and she's very
There's
nasty.
no
and you really
way.
can't blackmail
I'm not
her
there,
for
but
shit.
There's
So
no way
nasty.
she's gonna give you money.
I mean, she could ask her entity under the Prima Manor to give her 1,000.
Yeah, but we kind of
gold.
like promised it from our. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go ask Bakra for 2,000 gold pieces.
2,000.
Shall we?
Yeah, I guess we have to tell her something, and then if she doesn't like it, you just try to ruin each other in the press, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we just talk mad shit about each other. I have so much more shit about her than she has about me. I'm really not worried.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Out of the sewers then.
Yeah, hop on my back again.
Oh, thank you. Could you bend a little lower?
I kneel down.
Ah, good. I like hold on to your horns as handles.
Be careful, younglings. We would hate for something awful to happen.
It's really weird that you said that.
Bye-bye.
Is that a warning?
Yeah, was that a warning?
Patter of feet off into the night, off into the darkness.
Thank you, Chimes. Goodbye.
And the two of you depart. You manage to find your way back up to the ladder. Crumbeck is waiting for you. He lets you know that he was about to come down and find you. You were really pressing the time limit.
Pressing a lot of limits down there. Toss him a saucy wink.
Do we have HR by any chance?
Oh my god, no. Take it up with Valo. She's more of a freak than I am.
It's highly inappropriate for the workplace. And the two of you depart back to the manor.
Anyone following us?
Give me another perception roll.
So smart to ask those questions.
I'm not making this mistake again. 18.
Streets seem normal. You look around. You do not see your attacker. You don't know where he is gone. If and when he'll return. You do not see Prince Malfirth or Cletir Keldar. For a brief second, you see a rat with gleaming yellow eyes peering out at you from an alleyway, but when you lock eyes on it, it quickly scurries away. And you continue your way back up to Berthold Manor. You gather, you find Glimki, and as you prepare to share the information that you have acquired about life's many expenses, I think that's where we'll stop tonight's episode of Bard Soup.
Thank you so much for listening to Chapter 16 of Bard Soup. As always, I have been your little dungeon master, Zach Meikle. Pick me up, put me in your pocket. I'm joined by my dear friends, Prima Zhao as Clay Campbell, Jordan Johnsen as Glimki Treefellow, and Shannon Meikle as Faunalyn Vaydark. If you're enjoying the show, as always, we'd really appreciate a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Consider following us on Instagram or TikTok at bard_soup. And while you're here, check out bardsoup.com. It's, honestly, it looks really good. There's some cool stuff to see on that website. We'll be back in 2 weeks with Chapter 17. Until then, stay frosty.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Who you gonna call? Bard Soup. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Who you gonna call?
Prima Zhao.
Are we really doing a 6? Is this a good intro?
No, we just goof in.